Well, welcome, Jim with Dugan. Thanks. Glad you guys are here. Trying to figure out this whole live thing and YouTube life in general. Basically, where I'm at right now is trying to figure out a slot that is good, that's not going to interfere with the knife guys. The gun guys are too big to worry about. And quite frankly, a lot of the knife guys are too. I'm just a small potato. But with that said, we're here. So what I'm going to try to do this is on Sunday afternoons at 3:30. I'm going to go for a half hour. If we don't get a lot of people in here, or if we get some audience and it builds up, I'm going to go to an hour. So I've asked him to put me on the calendar for an hour, and hopefully the community will accept me and let me be part of it. What's going to make my whole deal different than a lot of the others? Let's first talk about what it is that I'm going to do. I am going to be a review. I just don't have any real desire to review them because A, I don't know what I'm talking about, and B, the bottom line is that it's harder to do than not. In terms of how can I say this? I'm not a knife guy, but I am a knife guy. Actually, what I am is a collector. And I think we're all collectors as human beings. We collect things in general. I think we all collect something of some type across different times in our life. And basically, I have collected firearms most of my life. I started out as a young person collecting ceramic dogs, had hundreds of them. And I don't even know what happened to those. I don't know if we sold them or I have no idea. I've collected watches. I've collected different things over the years. So many, I can't even remember them all. So I got into the knives because I thought they were really cool and neat. And that was the main reason I got into it. The guns, the same thing, basically, although I love to shoot. So the knives are basically a collecting thing for me. Like, I don't care what the steels are. Just whatever shows my fancy. And my ignorance, let me see here if I can give you guys a different perspective here. And bear with me because, like I said, I'm just trying to figure all this out. There we go. That's better. So at any rate, and let's get rid of this banner too. You guys don't need to see all that and have that all in your face too. So we'll go back to this. So basically what I've done is, like, I got this schmuck Spyderco several months ago. And I was excited about getting it. And I'm not a Spyderco fan whatsoever, but this knife, basically rang out to me. And as you can see, I've changed the scales on it. And I put aluminum scales on it. Well, I put skiffs in and the knife wouldn't run. Know I had the right size because I've seen several guys put this size in. So I got frustrated with it and sat aside. I did a video on this. To be honest with you, it was an hour and a half long, and I didn't have squat at the end of it because I couldn't get it to go. And even now, it's not really good. I was on Tri-State's live stream earlier today, and I asked him where I can get it modified or somebody to look at it. My biggest part of the problem is there's no jimping on it. I have nothing to grab here, and I ride the damn button. So at any rate, that's a story in itself. So let's face it, I'm not a knife mod guy. I can't do it. I'm incapable of doing it. Guns I can tear apart, fix, build, do whatever. I have no issues with that. I've had more success with that than anything, but I can't seem to do anything with the knives. I had a bug out. Let's see here. I wanted to put Altum on it. And I'm assuming that's the way you say it. And I got it on there. No problem. It looks good. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is a bullshit generic Japanese copy. And I've got a whole drawer full of them. And I'm going to show you that. And the reason I have all these is I just like to play with them. And I think the bug out's too much money for what they're asking for. There's so many other knives out there that you can buy that are more affordable than the bug out for what it is. And I collect real knives too, so don't get me wrong. And there's some good examples of this. So what I thought I'd bring out today, and I see we got somebody in here looking at me finally. We got one at any rate. But what I was going to do is look at the smallest knives in my collection first to see what perhaps you guys like or dislike. Now, again, I'm a collector. So I've gotten into this about 6-8 months ago and already spent way more money than I should have on some knives. And I still can't stop looking at them and thinking about them and watching all the channels of the guys that do really good stuff and everything else. So with that said, you know, it's just an addiction. And it's like a monkey on my back. It's frustrating to kind of sit here and just talk to yourself. I guess I should look at this like I'm making a video. So that's what I'm going to kind of approach it, is like I'm doing a video. I really don't see any other reason to do it any other way. So what I'm going to do is go through some of the things that I collect. I'd like to hear what you guys collect and what's going on with your collections. And again, I'm not a reviewer. What I'm going to do on my videos is showcase knives. I'm just going to go through them and I'm going to showcase different ones I've picked up. Again, this is a Chinese replica. I thought this was a great little Benchmade knife to look at. And I'm going to be honest with you. The lockup on this thing is unbelievable. The blade is sharp as crap. Of course, we know that's a mystery steel. You know, we'll never know what that steel really is. But, I mean, okay, let's talk about the scales. The scales are aluminum. It's centered up. I mean, this knife couldn't be a whole lot better. Yeah, it's a generic. I paid about 18 bucks for it, and I get it. I understand that part of the whole process. Support the local knife makers or the U.S. guys, and I 100% do. I've got more than I can imagine, and that will come up later. So that's a generic. This is a generic as well. This is a Benchmade, and it's one of the launches. And I'm not sure which one it is. I can look it up here real quick and see. Of course, you guys know more about this than I do. I'm looking at my cheat sheet over here, my inventories. Let's see. Well, that's going to take too long. You guys don't want to see me going through all this. Or maybe you do. Let's see if I can get it right even. I was wrong. This is actually called the Viper D2. So it's not even the launch. I believe this one's one of the little launches. And again, this is a generic. But again, lockup is just unbelievable. And it's just a cool little knife. Now we're getting into the real deals. Okay, for an example. This one's made by Devo Knives. I think this is called the Sprout, maybe. I'm not sure. I know Kevin and Colin are the guys that designed it. And I have arthritis in my hands really bad, and I have Parkinson's over here, so the odds of me doing anything with this hand with it are zero. But I like the flippers, and I like the thumb studs. I cannot do a front whatsoever. This thing's a laser. Cool knife. So, I mean, you know, I've got some coin in that. So that's the real deal. This is a boot. And I can't remember who makes the boot. You guys will be able to tell me. That's a cool knife. I'm trying to set all these out here so you guys can see them. Anybody comes in the room might be like, oh shit, he's doing knives. Had one guy's poke his head in and hauled ass. I don't blame him. So we got all these little guys. So fake, 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 real, real. But if I was not a knife guy and didn't know that, I couldn't tell the difference. Being I've got a little bit of education, I can identify these now. This one is I want to say it's a CRKT. CJRB is what it is. Got my initials wrong. Cool little knife, and it works fabulously. Here is a Savini. I love this blade shape. It's cool as crap. Let's see what else we got in here. This one is a Bastonian or something like that. Anyway, I got this one on eBay. Found it in a pawn shop. The lady wouldn't budge on the price. She wanted almost retail for it, and I wound up getting it for about half of that on eBay. So it pays to look around, and it's a great little knife. I think it's titanium back spacer. Let's see. Yeah, everything seems to be, there's no back spacer, but yeah, it's either aluminum or titanium. It's pretty cool. So at any rate, we go on here. Now this one's a front flipper, and I can do this one. This is a Best Tech. This one, I think, is the Baby Banter, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure that's what that one is. That one's very fidgety as well. I don't remember the name of this one, but I had to have it. This is another eBay find. And I can look these up as the live stream goes on here. Welcome to the person that just showed up. I'm Jim. Glad you stopped by for a minute. This one is a Civivi as well. And these are all my little tiny knives I'm showing people. And this is the tiniest cleaver style knife I've got. It's a Kaiser. So the difference between what I do is going to be, I'm going to showcase and show you the collecting aspects of it. And with that said, understand that, yeah, I'm a knife guy, but I'm also a gun guy. So when it comes that time that I actually have a few people in here in the live stream, which may never happen, be real optimistic there. I don't want these to scratch each other. When I say pocket check, well, that means whatever you got in your pocket. I don't care if it's a wallet. I don't care if it's cash. I don't care if it's change. But I do care what you're carrying. This is my carry today. This is a Glock 42 380. I generally carry a Smith & Wesson Shield 9mm, but it's so filthy I don't trust it right now. I need to throw it in the sonic cleaner and get her cleaned up. So this is my carry today. So when I ask you guys what you're carrying today, this is the question at hand. What real gun or knife or money or hell, bubble gum, I don't give a crap. If you got chewing tobacco or a pack of cigarettes, it doesn't matter to me. What's in your pockets? So yeah, this live stream is going to be more about collecting. What do you collect? I am going to focus on EDC gear more than anything else. Possibly things like knives, guns, pry bars, whatever. We might even look into some tech gear and some other things. Good afternoon, who just showed up. Leave a comment. Let me know I'm getting out and my audio is okay. Would be appreciated. My name's Jim. But whatever you guys happen to be carrying, that would be cool. And we're going to do collecting information, cooking stuff. I love cooking. Obviously, look at me. We're going to do some cooking stuff as well. We might even do a live from the kitchen from time to time. People keep popping in, but they haul right back out. So not sure what that's about. But I'm running out of things to say, and it's kind of weird. I do have a podcast, What Dugan Thinks. It's picked up some traction. I've gotten quite a few comments on it. I'm getting a few emails now. I'm going to be setting up some more stuff. I'm at that crossroads with YouTube. I'm right around 700 and some odd subscribers. I'm trying to get to 1,000, But that 4,000 views or 4,000 hours, I'm not sure which one it is. It's one or the other. I think it's hours of viewing. Well, that's going to be a tough nut to crack. I have only got 1.5 in the last, period that they allow. It's a 365-day period. So if I go back and look at that, I'm about 1.5. Although the majority of that growth has been in the last month and a half. I have one short go viral. To show you what YouTube is kind of, how can I put this? I don't want to sound, I don't know how to put it. As much as they're against the firearms aspect of YouTube, overwhelming popularity seems to be huge, not only in the United States, but the entire world. I did a small video on 2A that I really didn't think was going to have much traction. The last time I checked, and it's been up about a week, 24,000 views. And I picked up 300 of my subscribers from 3 consecutive 2A videos that I did. And they were shorts, not videos, but shorts. And it was surprising to me that they did that well. I couldn't believe it. But I think it was pretty cool, to say the least. Let's go back to full screen here. That's not full screen. That one is. Got to get used to everything. It's puzzling to me that they don't want to be part of that, and that's up to them. And I got a lot of people for it, and I got a few clowns in there that were against it, and then you got your troublemakers, and I just laugh because it doesn't matter what they say. I could give a shit at my age. It doesn't matter. That's the funny part. And they rant and rave, and then they get into it with each other, and that's fine too. Has no bearing on what I'm going to do that night in terms of sleep. I just think it's kind of funny all the way around, to be honest with you. But cooking, shooting, knives, EDC, what the weather's doing in your part of the country, I don't give a shit what we talk about. I just like to get some interaction and get the channel going. And I just want to be able to give advice and help people with what they're doing. I can bring a lot to the table in terms of showing people how to purchase and find stuff at a very good price and how to go about it as a young person without a lot of money. I have a knack for bartering and trading. You can trade all kinds of things to get what you want. And that's a pretty cool thing that we can still do in this country. I think you can do it in a lot of other countries, even more so, that are more poverty ridden or third world like. I think you can definitely get in there and do more of that than anything else. So out of all these knives that I showed you guys earlier in the videos, what are y'all's favorites? I mean, I got to tell you, these knockoffs actually do a pretty damn good job. I'm really surprised at how well they do. Let's see here. Go here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm hoping. Let me look at something. Yeah, I'm still down there. I have to leave my picture down here in the corner in order to keep the microphone going. But I mean, just look at this thing. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, it blows my mind. Of course, it shouldn't, because they're making the other knives. Are they cheaping out on some of the steel? Probably. But let's be honest. Why would they? They're probably not using, their own money to do this. They're probably taking them out of the warehouses or the factories. I don't know what they're doing, but it amazes me that they can make them. Well, we're coming up on 22 minutes, and I've had about 3 or 4 people pop their heads in and out. I don't think there's much point in trying to go to an hour until we actually have an audience. I think that's the way to go. So I'm just kind of sitting here just rambling on, and I apologize. I will get back on here next Sunday because that's my commitment. Every Sunday at 3:30. It may not be a good time. I may look at something else. I was thinking about Tuesday afternoons, but I know everybody works. So who knows? I also have a little clip here I was going to take and swap out on this one. It's a Savini clip. I got a couple of them, but I thought it would look good. It really doesn't match the Marcarta, but it would give it a pop of color. The silver parts. I got some other ones in here. I got all kind of stuff to show you guys collecting wise. I also collected for years Maglite flashlights with logos on them. I'll bring those out one day, and I may sell those. I don't know. I haven't decided because the Maglite now is nothing. I mean, I think you can get kits to change them to LED, but these are the little 2 AA battery Maglites, and I must have 20 of them with all kind of logos on them, from cigarette manufacturers to whatever. It was a big thing I collected. And does anybody do eBay anymore? I hear everybody talking about all these other avenues to swap, shop, and buy different knives and so forth. I have had a great deal of success on eBay as far as collecting stuff goes. That's another thing I collected for a while. Ship decanters. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. I may bring one in here. And I don't know how many of you guys are into bourbon and scotch and things of that nature, but these decanters, I got infatuated with those, and I must have 20 of those. And they're big ship decanters, which are real flared out at the bottom and come up to a small nozzle, and some of them have glasses and some of them don't. Got infatuated with that for a while. Drones. I got more drones sitting around here than the man in the moon. Race drones, regular drones, camera drones, mini drones, every kind of drone you could think of. I'm like Forrest Gump with the shrimp. But at the end of the day, I seem to get into a thing and I just spearhead that way. Well, I'm getting too old to do that anymore, so I'm going to back off some of that. This is the last collecting I'll do is these knives. I'm pretty much done with the pew-pews simply because I don't need any more. I'm getting to the point where I'm not going to be able to shoot probably much longer. Maybe if I got another 4 or 5 years shooting, I'd be happy camper about it. It's hard to say right now. But I also was going to show you one more thing if you guys are interested. Let me see here if I can do this. Don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, this is my how I keep up with my knives. So these are some more recent ones that I just purchased. And I think you guys can see this. I've got them all cataloged and in here. If they're fake, I say they're fake. I don't want anybody getting a knife that they don't, that, I misrepresent or anything like that. I want everything to be on the up and up. And I do the same thing for my firearms and some of the other stuff that I collect. I think it's important to have a good inventory. Like this one's a cool knife. I don't even know where that one's at. I need to put that over here with my little deal here. And I'm not sure I've got that one named right. It says sheepdog. I don't think that. Oh, I see why I'm looking at the wrong one. That's this. This is the Launch 9 here. I think do I have that one? I don't think I have that over here. At any rate, it doesn't matter. I just think it's important. Now, this is the real deal. This is the Kershaw Launch 15. It's real. This one's a knockoff. I love this knife. This thing's cool as crap. In game. Oh, and I really like this one. This one I like a lot, and it's smooth as can be. So as you can see, I have many, many real knives. Here's a honey badger. That kind of reminds me, that was this one, the nip. So I called it the snip, I think. And when I get these knives from Kevin or Keith or any of the other knife guys on here that are doing these runs, I'm calling them limited runs. When you look at Kaiser and the bigger brands and Savini and the marketing and everything else, Best Tech and all of them, these are limited runs. So that's the way I'm listing them in here. This fixed blade Elk Ridge, I probably have had for 25, 30 years. Didn't even know what it was. I valued it the best I could. I found something very similar, but nothing just like it. It's really nice with a sheath. I like this dagger as well by Urban 2. Or it's not by Urban, it's by Dagger, but it's Urban 2 is the model. That's a knockoff. Another knockoff, but that one, now why did I put that as a knockoff? Because that's not. Maybe it was. I think it was, now that I think about it. And there's really no reason to buy a knockoff of those. They're cheap enough. This one is a real one. The Overland. Then we have here the CRJB Mini Pirate, of course. This is the CMB Predator. I like this one a lot. I picked this one up, I think, on eBay. I thought it was a pretty good deal. Baby Banner Warncliffe. One of my Pyrex with the Altum. I love Altum. There's a Savini that I showed you earlier. They look bigger on here. It looks the same size as this, and this is a much bigger knife. The Vision. This one I got. It's the only Damascus knife that I've got. I don't really, how can I put this? Care for the Damascus. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but it's in the collection. Higher quality one would probably be better. Here's another Banter. Here is the Sentinel Strike. This one I'm having little trouble with the spring in it. It doesn't really want to flip very well. What I want to start doing is carrying one of these every day, or at least putting it on my desk and start using them and playing with them. I think this buck's pretty cool here. It's really neat knife for the money. It is very, very friendly. Big blade. Comes flying out of there. I mean, it is cool as crap. Again, I'm not even tracking the steels because I don't care. This knife is one of the sharpest knives I got, this Beretta Airlight. I got a price on here of 20 bucks, but I have seen it on eBay a few times for a heck of a lot more money. Let me see something here. I want to do a little experiment if I can, if you guys don't mind. Wanted to get my other perspective on here. What I'm going to have to do is figure out how to keep the microphone live when I keep this perspective up here, because this is better. I'm more in contact with you guys looking over here. There's another Best Tech. These are all the fake Benchmades I've got. Oh, God. And you can point them out, probably, some of these. Some of them are pretty damn good. I'm embarrassed to even show those. This is a great replica. Believe it or not, they did a killer job on this thing. I've played with both. Now, this is pretty cool. This is Benchmade, and this is the Infidel Mini. Now, this is the real deal. I bought this one, paid full price for it, but I wanted to see what the difference was from the knockoff. Look at the difference in the overall dimensions of the knife. This one's lighter, but it's much bigger, much larger blade, lighter. This is made out of pop metal or something. I hadn't even checked to see if it's metal or if it's aluminum, but it's junk, comparatively speaking. Let's see here. What else have I got? That's about it. Kind of neat. I think it's kind of neat, but well, guys, I guess I'll wrap it up. There's nobody in here to interact with or anything else. If I bored you to tears, I'm sorry, but hopefully I'll get some more takers coming in here. I want to try to get some people to come in and be part of the live stream as well. There's a couple channels I've run across. The guys are around the same level I am. I've had some correspondence with them, and they're willing to take part. Some of them are cooking. Some of them are different things. But I think two people talking makes it more interesting for you guys. And that's my goal, is to make it interesting for you. Thank you, people that have subscribed to the channel and the people that have watched the stuff and the good comments I've gotten. That 2A video I was telling you about are short. I think I'm somewhere around 150 comments so far, and I've tried to answer every one of them. And to be honest with you guys, just so you know, if you're saying something stupid or derogatory that's just blatantly disrespectful and or deemed to be a threat to my privateness or security, that comment's gone in about a second flat. I get a notification every time I get a comment, and I check them immediately. And I just delete it because I don't need that aggravation. Thank you for watching. My name is Jim again, What Dugan Thinks. I'm also on Instagram. I follow all the knife guys, and we'll catch you next week, hopefully. Thank you very much for tuning in.